Hello, this is Kathryn Massell, 5D visionary, conscious creatrix, and elevated consciousness coach. And this is the monthly energy report for February 2020. So we have an exciting month coming up for February. January, for many of you, probably felt like a really bumpy ride. There was a lot of decluttering going on in January, almost like a decluttering of all of 2019. Some of you are probably really resonating with that. It felt like a lot of stuff was still leaving, still moving out, despite our best intentions to try to, get both feet on the ground in January 2020 and start a new year and a new theme for our lives. So don't give up. Don't feel like you can't trust this year. Don't let January give you the full litmus test of what the rest of the year is going to be like, and certainly not even what February is going to be like, because February is going to feel very different for you, especially if you resonate with how I was just explaining how January was in terms of a decluttering that was still going on. This month is bringing in a lot of fresh energy. Even though we've got some interesting things coming in, we have Mercury retrograde happening around the 17th of February. Don't get caught up in, the sky is falling mentality that a lot of people have about Mercury retrograde. February is going to be an introduction within those first, let's just say 16 days that lead up to Mercury retrograde. There's going to be a lot of shifts taking place, a lot of momentum if you start taking inspired action, even more so than maybe you tried to in January, but you felt like your energy was distracted and distorted by this constant decluttering that was still going on in all of January. Don't let that let you down. Don't mistrust that there is a lot of really good energy creating momentum that within the next couple of weeks of February, the first 2 weeks of February especially, is going to be a lot of energy that's going to help you pick up where you left off. Let's just say if you felt distracted by the energies that were keeping you in this kind of confusion or overwhelm, you're going to feel a fresh burst of energy coming in where you get this kind of renewed dedication to enacting that process of seeing your goals through again, seeing that project come to fruition. The first couple of weeks of February leading up to that Mercury retrograde are going to be really wonderful, and they're going to feel like they're washing you clean through, and you are renewed with fresh vibrancy and a well-being of body, mind, and spirit. It's going to feel really good for you. So don't get hung up on Mercury retrograde, because this, when it comes around, that'll be perfect timing for you to slow down a little bit and look at some bigger things, which I'll talk about in a minute. We also have a full moon on the 9th of February. So this is bringing, let's just say, in a good way, the completion of all the chaos of January. And if you feel like you were tying up energy in January from all of 2019, it's going to feel like a completion of that too, when we have the full moon on the 9th. The Mercury retrograde, when it comes around, it will feel like a good time to take a rest, so really take advantage of that. Mercury retrograde is all about going into a little bit of retreat, and sometimes we feel like we're being punished, like it's an imposed retreat that we have no idea or no design on setting up. But look at it this way, as a cosmic gift this time around in February, because you'll be able to reap the benefits of seeing where you're still exploring the shadow of maybe making excuses for why you can't take inspired action on your goals, and literally entreat all of your energy and your faculty towards, renegotiating this goal for yourself. You may feel like you talked yourself out of the possibility of this goal with the craziness of the January energies. Please don't do that, because this is going to be a great time to renew that vow to yourself, to renew your dedication, to renew this ability to take inspired action on the goal that you really do want. And this Mercury retrograde is going to show you where you're still making excuses for why it can't happen, where you're playing the victim and saying, well, these energies are too big, I can't make it happen, or making excuses for why you're not really calling in calling in what you want in terms of, are you being really clear? Do you have crystal clarity on what you want and why you want it? What's the deeper why behind it? This Mercury retrograde is really a cosmic gift to help you uncover those things for yourself. You are going to find your body going into, I want to talk about the physical aspects of this month. You will find your body kind of going to extremes in this month. You're tying up a lot of loose ends from closing out 2019, from closing out January 2020. You're going to find new energies are coming in as you close those energies out, because we are not a vacuum. We are not a void. If something moves out in our energy, something else will flow in. Having that crystal clarity on what we want to flow in will keep us from going back into that victim mode where we feel like we're at the mercy of the energies of the universe, instead of crafting and molding the energies of the universe to our whim, which we totally have the ability to do. And February is going to be all about that. But you have to embrace the idea that you really are the creator of your reality. And you're going to find as you do that, that new energies are flowing in. And this is wonderful, because what this really means is that you're not the same person that you used to be. Your frequency has changed. Your frequency is different. The electromagnetic signature of who you are, which is basically you as a fragment of consciousness, having a conversation with everything else that is a fragment of consciousness, and with consciousness itself. The conversation you used to have is changing, because your electromagnetic signature, your expression of consciousness is changing, has changed. Things are going to feel different. So your body in its density is going to go through this wave-like effect of going up and down, feeling like, I want to eat this food, I don't want to eat this food. I'm starving, I don't want to eat for a couple days. I can't sleep, I want to sleep all the time. It's going to be this kind of fluctuation of extremes. Your body's going to have different needs during this time. Listen to it. Give it what it needs. If you need a nap, take a nap. If you feel like you want to get up and journal at 3:30 in the morning, get up and do that. And you'll find that it's easier to go back to sleep when you do that, because there's usually something Spirit wants you to know. Which brings me to another point. There is lots of Spirit communication coming in this month. This is a time to pay attention. You're in a really powerful gateway, a passage of bringing in new gifts, new skills. As you're moving into this higher frequency of yourself, Spirit is really talking to you and telling you how to make the most out of these gifts, how to glean these gifts, how to extract the information about how to use these gifts. Spirit is having a dialogue with you all the time via conversations with other people in your life, conversations with strangers at the post office, at the grocery store. It's having a conversation with you through TV, through the music you're listening to, something in your peripheral view. A lot of times we dismiss things that we see in our periphery as just, dust or something like that. But sometimes if we just slightly turn in the periphery where we feel our attention is being brought to a certain place or a focus beyond our front and center view, we look in our periphery, sometimes we'll see something or pick up some information that Spirit wants us to see. I don't know why they use the peripheral viewpoint to get our attention, because that seems counterproductive, but they do. And a lot of information comes in for me that way. So that might be something that resonates with you. You're really in an accelerated period here of moving forward. I think I can't overstate how the first 2 weeks of February is going to really feel for many of you. You're unifying lots of moving parts here. So it's going to feel accelerated, not only because February it's a short month, it's 28 days, but you are unifying lots of moving parts of self. This means it's time to really pay attention to where some of those moving parts, those pieces, just don't fit anymore. Maybe it's believing something that just doesn't make sense to you anymore. Maybe it's, a thought or a feeling, a state of being that just doesn't make sense for you anymore. And it feels like that lesson's been learned. Thank you for showing me the contrast of what just doesn't work anymore. And then simply let those moving parts and pieces that just don't fit anymore, let them go with love. Let them go with gratitude and with a sense of peace. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this to be part of my identity anymore. This will make room for the right pieces to fit in. And you'll find that there is kind of a grace, a real momentum in allowing those pieces that are aligned for your new frequency to move in. They'll do so with a sense of just kind of easy settling, an easy grace, an easy kind of peace and calm and tranquility will move in as a result of that. It is really a time of, yes, taking some inspired action, but also allowing. There's a lot of, like I said, lots of spirit communication. That means also that there's many hidden realms of our awareness that are emerging. For many people this month, many of you who are listeners, you'll find that as you're settling into this new frequency, it's time to dedicate yourself to a little more meditation, time to tune in. And I know I kind of hear that collective groan there somewhere like, ugh, meditation, I just don't have time. Here's the thing about meditation. It is wonderful to spend an hour or more in meditation. I do it regularly. I love it. I'm aware of the fact that many people don't have that kind of time in their day. But if you even get up 10 minutes early and make it a point in the morning before you do anything, before you speak to anybody, before you let the dog out, before you start the coffee, just lay in bed for 10 minutes and focus on something very close to you, like what's going to happen in your day, or particularly a project, something you would like to see to completion. What does that look like? Visualize it and feel into it. This is meditation as well. Or just simply connect with spirit, with that spirit communication that's flowing very, very strongly this month. Just connect in. Higher self, what would you like me to know right now? What's in my best interest and in my highest timeline to know right now? Just simply tune in. And don't be surprised at maybe how quickly the information can be extracted from just moving into this space for even 10 minutes every day. Starting your day this way is a very, very powerful way to start upgrading your frequency even more. So February is a big month for also bringing in lots of things forth from the unseen, the hidden realms of awareness, the implicate field of all consciousness, and bringing those things into manifest form. So this is really an invitation from me, from Spirit, to be very clear on your desires. What are your intentions? If that project you're working on is to come to its completion, what does that look like? Better yet, what does it feel like? And make a conscious declaration to self to purify your thoughts, to purify your feelings. And in that way, purifying your state of being so that it aligns with this project completion, this manifested desire, so that you are looking and feeling like exactly like you would if this thing was already here in your manifest reality. This is a time to purify your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your attitudes, your opinions, to all line up with that which you wish to manifest in your reality now. Projects, for many of you, are really finally starting to pay off. Long-term goals are completing or leaping into their next level, their next evolution. Tangible results are coming. It's time to trust that. But it's not just relying and kind of resting on your laurels that this is going to show up. Taking inspired action towards what you want, no matter how small, no matter how microscopic that move might be, it's about taking action in the physical that really cements this manifestation into your reality now and on a very, very accelerated timeline. So I hope this information finds you well. I hope that you are having courage as you go through this next month of February and losing any sense of self-doubt because of how maybe tumultuous or how much you felt an emotional upheaval from January of 2020. Don't be discouraged. Things are shifting. Things are going to start making a little more sense. Some of that crazy minutia is going to start to calm down a lot. This is time to trust, take some inspired action, and really pay attention to Spirit and how Spirit is communicating with you. There's valuable information coming in for you. How are you going to use it in your highest and best good and for the highest and best timeline for all? Love and peace.